A look at the skies now. The Weather Bureau Pagasa has spotted a low-pressure area near General Santos City, while the northeast monsoons will affect conditions in eastern, make that extreme northern Luzon. Light to moderate rains will prevail over Mindanao, while light rains will prevail over Batanes and the Calayan group of islands. Meantime, clouds will bring isolated rains over the rest of the country, particularly over the Bicol region and eastern Visayas. And we've got a look now at the rest of temperatures here and around the region. Well, a renowned urban planner says the construction of a tunnel from Cavite to Bataan will help ease traffic congestion in Metro Manila. The Metro Manila Development Authority supports that proposal. Here's Jelly Bilhera with a closer look.
Traffic is a perennial problem motorists have to deal with daily. EDSA is considered the most congested thoroughfare in Metro Manila, especially during peak hours. Its planned rehabilitation was originally set to begin in May this year, but was temporarily put on hold after President Aquino ordered concerned government agencies to ensure alternate routes are in place for its implementation. Urban planner architect June Palafox agrees with the President and says EDSA's rehabilitation should be planned carefully.
Siguro nangyari sa EDSA, it was purely engineering solution. And the urban planning, the architectural, the landscape architectural, the environmental planning, the impact on business in the community, maybe it was not thoroughly studied yet.
He suggests government to look at the long-term benefits of investing on infrastructures in the country. Palafox says one alternative for EDSA is the construction of a tunnel connecting Cavite and Bataan so that vehicles heading to the provinces will no longer have to pass Metro Manila.
Parang galing kang Cavite, pupunta kang Subic, bakit ka makikigulo pa dyan? Pwede ka dumiretso dyan. At saka ito, nai-propose ako kung gawin siyang tunnel, pwedeng flood control.
But for an immediate solution to traffic, Palafox says parallel roads should be opened for private vehicles. This will lead to the opening of Camp Aguinaldo, Camp Crame, and other exclusive villages during peak hours.
Siguro kausapin na yung mga gated communities, mga exclusive villages, kung pwede yung mga kalye nila gamitin parallel to EDSA. You must ensure that they are safe, respect their privacy and exclusivity.
Other suggestions of Palafox include constructing more walkways and pedestrian-friendly highways, as well as charging motorists who enter congested areas.
During peak hours, magbayad ka ng congestion charging. So you discourage the use of the cars and you go more public transit o maglakad ka na lang.
He adds there should be a more efficient and convenient public transportation system.
So if you have the LRT, maybe you should have the monorail to fit into the LRT, and you have the buses to fit into the monorails, and you have the jeepneys and the taxis to fit into the buses, and then you have the pedestrian pathways to fit into all kinds of transportation.
The Metro Manila Development Authority backs Palafox's idea that constructing a tunnel connecting north and south will definitely congest traffic.
It would also stimulate growth dito sa portions ng Bataan and Cavite, and then you're removing people away from Metro Manila. Talagang may magandang solution talaga ito. It's an ambitious project.
Jelly Bilhera, Solar News.
Well, the Office of Civil Defense has begun construction of its first 3-in-1 facility to serve as command center, relief goods warehouse, and aircraft hangar in Fort Bagsaysay in Nueva Ecija. Miguel Ortilia has details.
Gone are the days when storage and delivery of relief goods hamper government's disaster response operations. Newly appointed Office of Civil Defense Acting Administrator Eduardo Del Rosario led the groundbreaking of the agency's first 3-in-1 office. The plan is to build a 2,400 square meter structure worth 46 million pesos in Fort Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija to serve as Operation Command Center, Relief Goods Warehouse, and aircraft hangar in one.
This is futuristic na maaring magamit natin at kakailanganin if ever na mayroong sakuna, calamity na mangyayari dito sa Central Luzon.
In the past, the NDRRMC has to rent out warehouses to store the relief goods due to its minimal space. And delivery of goods, particularly foreign aid, is often delayed as donations had to be dropped and deployed from the airports. The 3-in-1 facility will allow all these activities to happen simultaneously in one place.
Kung meron na tong 3-in-1, andito na yung goods, andito yung facility, madali na yung naita-transport sa mga affected areas.
For now, the pilot project is concentrated in Region 3 and should be completed in 7 months. There are plans to finish the construction of similar facilities in 6 other disaster-prone areas. Undersecretary Del Rosario says relief goods will be stored in these facilities even in the absence of a calamity. Next in the agency's priority is to have ready evacuation centers on identified calamity-prone areas.
Bigyan natin ng priority yung mga probinsya at munisipyo na nangangailangan ng talagang more or less permanent evacuation centers. And these evacuation centers must be constructed in a safe ground.
Miguel Ortilla, Solar News.
Well, the Quezon City Police District was disappointed after testing security measures at Robinson's Magnolia earlier today. 2 of 3 policemen in civilian clothes were able to bring firearms inside the mall without being detected by security guards. AC Nichols filed this report.
Robberies in the metro in recent weeks prompted the Philippine National Police to check if security in malls are up to the task of screening armed shoppers. Quezon City Police, led by Senior Superintendent Richard Albano, today tested security at Robinson's Magnolia in Cubao. 3 QCPD police dressed as civilians brought a gun and tried to enter the mall. Police Officer Erickson Isidro, who put the gun in his sling bag, was not allowed to enter the mall. However, 2 other police dressed as civilians who tucked their gun in their pants were able to enter the mall.
Sinubukan natin ngayon yung readiness nila. Nakakadismaya eh. 2 baril may papasok dito. Ba't di nyo makita yon? So, ano to? It should be a wake-up call sa mga gwardiya dito, agency man, kung sinong concern. Titingnan natin hanggang doon sa pinakamababa na nag-i-implement nito. Salita tayo ng salita, di natin kayang gawin. Gawin natin.
Albano asked for an explanation from the head of the mall security, Pepe Gantalao. He told Gantalao to improve the supervision of security guards manning the mall's entrances. Gantalao blames the security agency hired by Robinson's Magnolia for not properly training the security guards. Security guards from Gengiscan, the agency which was hired to handle mall security, insist they are doing their jobs.
Walang kakalusot man, sir. Basta sa amin lang ginagampanan po namin yung trabaho namin.
Albano says this is only the first of a series of security inspections in similar establishments. He says he also plans to inspect security measures in 24-hour convenience stores, which are easy targets. AC Nichols, Solar News.
Well, this just in, the United States Geological Survey reports a 7.1 magnitude earthquake 270 miles east of Kirakira in the Solomon Islands. No immediate tsunami warnings have been raised. So far, there are no reports of any damage. Well, the Manila Police District will deploy 150 policemen to the Binondo area tomorrow to maintain order during the Chinese New Year celebrations. In addition, 30 Special Weapons and Tactics, or SWAT, personnel will be tasked to monitor the area, while 50 other police officers will be on standby in the MPD headquarters. Meanwhile, 50 policemen and 8 SWAT personnel will be on hand during the Chinese New Year celebration in the Luneta, or at the Luneta Grandstand on Sunday. MPD Deputy Director for Operations Chief Superintendent Ronald Estillas says officials will be on alert during the occasion, though no threat has been reported so far. Most of the families who lost their homes in a recent demolition in Payatas, Quezon City refuse to resettle in areas offered by the local government. They are worried about living conditions in the resettlement sites. Katrina Domingo has more.
Informal settlers brought about by the demolition of houses along Nara Street in Barangay Payatas, Quezon City complain about the living conditions in their evacuation area. Around 19 families are taking shelter at a covered court after their homes were demolished to pave way for the construction of a 4-story public elementary school. Affected families claim that since yesterday, the government did not provide food or medicine, as some children already caught fever from staying outdoors overnight. Apart from the lack of food and medical rations, the informal settlers also questioned the legality of the demolition. Gina Lunag, one of those affected, says she has resided in the area for 4 decades, yet her house was still torn down.
Napakasakit dahil minaanak ko to sa tatay ko, kamamatay lang ng tatay ko, binigay sa akin yan. Wala kaming tutuloy. Ang alam ko kasi noon, di ba, noon may batas noon, pag 10 years ka, medyo may karapatan ka na, sa lupang tinitirikan mo. Eh, lampas na ako 10 years. Andito na lahat ng mga anak ko, dito ko na inanak.
Lunag says they filed a case before the Quezon City Regional Trial Court Branch 80 to stop the demolition. But their petition for a temporary restraining order was denied. But their case against the demolition team still stands.
Nag-hearing kami ng 1 linggo, binigyan kami ng judge na 10 days para isumite yung mga papel. 9 days pa lang kahapon, giniba na nila. Wala pa yung sumiting binigay namin papel na hinihingi ng judge.
Despite the informal settlers' legal issues, the demolition pushed through after the local government of Quezon City authorized the operation. The construction of a public elementary school in the area was approved last year, but was delayed due to the informal settlers. The documents from the local government also show that dialogues between affected parties have been conducted since January 2011. Relocation sites as well as financial assistance worth 10,000 pesos per family are also being offered. Despite this, only 2 out of the 19 affected families have agreed to accept the government's offer. Others, however, remain unconvinced to transfer and are skeptical about the living conditions in the relocation sites in Del Monte, Bulacan and Montalban, Rizal. Katrina Domingo, Solar News.
The Cagayan de Oro Regional Trial Court has indefinitely postponed the arraignment of suspected investment scam leader Jacob Coco Rasuman. The decision came after Rasuman's 2 syndicated estafa cases were consolidated before Branch 20. Branch 20 has yet to schedule Rasuman's arraignment. The court postponed the arraignment due to a pending motion to quash filed by defense lawyers. Rasuman headed an investment firm allegedly behind a massive pyramiding scam in Mindanao. A stock market analyst says the Philippine stock market's main index could top 6,700 this year. This after the Philippine stock market reached a new all-time high for the 15th time this year in less than 2 months of trading. Eagle Equities President Joey Rojas says hitting the 6,700-point mark is possible within the first quarter of 2013 as the market's rally is expected to continue until mid-March. And for those hoping to invest or looking to invest, Rojas says listed companies engaged in retail, media, finance, and oil exploration will be profitable. Meantime, Philippine Stock Exchange President Hans Sikat says media and retail companies are expected to have higher revenues this year due to election spending.
Market is still attracting, I think, a lot of new investors. Because you can see it in the volume every day, and every time there's a correction, immediately the market it stops and then goes up again. So that means people are waiting for corrections.
During elections, there's probably a lot of spending in the media sector, 2, the branded consumer sector, which is what we call the retail sector. So what that probably means is that companies who are in this area of activity will probably have higher earnings or at least higher revenues during this year. So that may translate to, in fact, higher stock trading in their companies. And